So we've looked at how trauma can form belief systems in our minds and how it can lay beneath the surface of our conscience until a similar event triggers it. And as Neil has demonstrated, often what's triggered is shame-based. Now I'm going to put it into the context of the first responder organizations and the external context of our culture. And the reason I'm doing that is that the shame gets reinforced and grows amidst criticism, blame, fear, and silence. And it subsides amidst authenticity, congruence, positivity, and solution-focused environments. I don't need to tell you that the culture of first responder organizations tends towards the macho end of the continuum. If someone was passively to observe the goings-on, they would likely see a group of highly intelligent people with high standards in terms of protocols, lower understated affect and emotion, and a high need for fun, pranks, and camaraderie. It is not an environment that's readily conducive to disclosing difficult emotions or thoughts, although I've heard it's getting much better. As a matter of fact, I even know a captain in a fire hall that's teaching yoga to the rest of the team when they get back from a call. So in our broader culture, pardon me?
He's lying to you.
No, it is. I got a picture. If I'd had time to put it on the PowerPoint, he just gave it to me yesterday, I would have put it on.
He would never say that. He would never tell you.
In our broader culture, we live in a hurry up, be perfect, critical, entitled society that focuses on success being about making money and having things. We live in a world where cyberbullying is commonplace, and gossiping about other people is so pervasive, I don't actually think we know when we're doing it anymore. For example, at Christmas time, I thanked a cashier and wished her a happy holiday, and she looked visibly shocked. And she told me that not only do people not normally do that, but it actually gets worse at that time of year instead of better, which actually really shocked me too. Negative attitudes perpetuate negative attitudes. Just recently I heard on CBC, they did a study where they did some statistics about cashiers and bank tellers and that sort of thing. And if somebody was mean to a cashier or a bank teller, that person on average was mean to the next 5 people. And the opposite again is true. That if somebody is kind to a cashier or teller, they will likely be more kind to the next 5 people. And I think that is also true in our intimate relationships. I always tell couples that to have a healthy relationship, you need on average 5 positive affirmations or appreciations to every 1 constructive criticism. That's really high in comparison to what most people have in their relationships. And I believe that that is actually true for what's within yourself as well. How you think about yourself and how you relate to yourself during the day. And we don't tend to be in a culture that promotes that. So this lack of kindness can be particularly true for heavily latent, stressed, predominantly left-brain organizations where safety is an issue. Because they have to get those protocols higher and higher and higher because they're always worried about liability and money. It's always money, but liability too, right? So it tends to be more and more and more about the rules and the regulations and less about people's humanity. But as people, we need to hear the message that our humanity matters more than our behavior or our performance. We need to have the emotional side of ourselves validated. There needs to be times when our right brains get to kind of absorb that we're valued. And so the context of what you do as an organization is not going to change. But how kind and how humane you can be towards each other can. And that matters for all of us. And this is a difficult skill because, coming back to context, in our broader culture, we tend to focus on the dysfunction, the drama, and not on the solution or the part of the organization and part of life that we have control of. So we've talked briefly about how trauma forms, the shame cycle, the context of the job, and the milieu of the organizations. So now let's interface that with the couple relationship. Typically, the couple, the partner, has fallen in love with the first responder because, as a general rule, you tend to be smart, funny, wanting to help your fellow citizen and heroes, right?